Happy New Year, it's 2022 and I don't know about you, but the kind of changes in seasons or the end of things like Christmas always makes you want to kind of start off with a bang and get everything sorted. And it didn't take, well, I didn't even get into New Year's Eve before all of my plans for that just fell apart. So one member of my family unexpectedly ended up in hospital. Everything's all right now, but that was kind of a week of not knowing what was going on, and my kids have had a spontaneous visit to their grandparents because of that. So when I thought I'd be like kicking off the new year in style, all organised, I've actually got no kids around and everything is definitely not as planned. But it has given me some time to think about my intentions for the new year rather than just kind of roll on, keep thinking about the type of things we'll be doing. I want to think a little bit more about the why I'm doing it. I don't know if you're someone who sets goals. I know some people absolutely love it, and like each goal has a sub goal, and then you have like scheduled points that you go to check it, and there's all the like SMART goals and all those type of things. Or you might be someone who absolutely hates it, kind of somewhere in the middle. I love the idea of it, but I've never really had a plan that's kind of come fully to fruition. So I'm taking the pressure off a little bit. I'm not having resolutions, I'm not having goals. I'm just trying to be a little bit more intentional about the year. And I thought I would share the process of doing that in the kind of context of my home ed family, and also share some of the things that I've decided to focus on. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Rachel. I live in the north of England. I've got 3 kids and we've home educated from the start, but they're still quite young, they're 7 and under. So yes, in terms of setting goals for the year, I tried to think about 2 principles to kind of guide me. I decided that this was for me and not for my kids. I'm not big into setting goals, very specific goals for my kids. But I realised that I am in control of what I do and the kind of mindset that I have, so that's where I focused. I tried to think about things that would, in one way, benefit me and grow me, because I know that has a knock-on effect to my kids. And this isn't something that I need to require my kids to change their behaviour to meet at all. This is something that is to do with me and my own growth. So that was the first thing, that it was about me and not my kids. The second thing is that I really wanted to focus on the why and not the how, because that's what's tripped me up before. Like, if it was, right, if I have the perfect morning routine and I get up before my kids, which means getting up very, very early in my house, and I have these like 3 things that I do before they wake up, and then in the evening, if I have like a closing down routine where I get everything set up, and it was all about the how of doing things, and inevitably, those things would last about 2 days, and then I get frustrated about the different things that stop that happening, like if a kid woke up earlier and joined me, and really that was silly, because the how isn't actually important. I can still be meeting the goals of my home education and our family goals in loads of different ways. So I tried to just kind of not even think about the how and focus on the why. For us, it's kind of happened fairly naturally. We have about 4 things that as a home educating family we want to focus on, and they all happen to start with the same letter because I just can't help but alliterate. So I've got compassion, creativity, curiosity, and community or collaboration. And I guess I wanted to think about what needed to shift in the balance of those. So if they're the whys for our home ed, are we kind of achieving those? Is that an ethos that kind of runs through what we do? And if not, or if there's a little bit like of balance off, what do I need to shift? So the first intention that I have for home ed for myself this year is to be braver. It's mainly in that area of kind of community and collaboration. We do have a community here and we are quite involved, but I definitely think there are ways that we can collaborate more with people in the community, not just get to know people, but to work with them for a shared goal. So I've just tried to keep my eyes open a little bit. So for example, I've noticed someone who has a fantastic garden near me where we've moved to, and I think I'm gonna write a little note, put it in the door, like, I love your garden. Is there any chance you could teach me a little bit about how you managed to grow all these things? or I notice someone with some beautiful drawings that they've done in their window and I found out who it is, and I'm hoping to be able to chat to them about things that we can get involved in together. So it's kind of a bit of a vague goal to be brave, but it really, for me, it means keeping my eyes open to opportunities for that collaboration and being brave in asking people about it. So that's my intention number 1. Number 2 is again about getting more into the community, but this one is a little bit more about curiosity, I guess. I know I need to be a bit more proactive in getting out to a variety of outings and adventures. We've always kind of had adventures, but for me that can be like we're going to the post office, let's make an adventure out of that, especially because COVID put a stop to a lot of our travels because we don't have a car, so we were a little bit limited with that. So I have asked a lot of people what their favourite places are to visit in the local area, kind of 30 minutes on the bus, and I've just got a list. I've got kind of big things on our list that would require a bit more money or a bit more time or certain type of weather. I've got some medium kind of adventures on the list and some little ones that we could do quite spur of the moment. And I'm not going to plan like we're doing this and this and this and this then. I'm going to have that at the ready so that when I see what the weather's like, when I see how we're doing that week, we can pick something, and I already know the bus routes and that kind of thing, and can head off and be intentional about inviting other people along with us on that journey too. My 3rd intention for the year is to keep it simple. I get very passionate about home ed. I get very excited about what other people are doing or other ideas that I see come up or things that I think would be great for us. And sometimes you can find yourself saying yes to a lot of things and then not actually being able to do justice to any of those. So I'm going to try and say no to a lot more things. I'm going to deliberately like switch off that research brain for new things. We've got so many great things that we're already working on that I can just focus on those. And that's going to be hard for me because, like I said, I do get excited about the different things that people are doing, and I love to talk about home ed, and that can spark lots of ideas. But again, if I'm thinking about the why of why I'm doing this, and if those things are really going to help with compassion on myself and on my kids, if we're heaping in all those things of let's do this and let's do this when really we maybe need more space. I might need more space for just general reflection and rest and peace, and my kids might need more space for just exploring their own interests. So yep, my 3rd intention is to keep it simple and just say no. I'd be really curious to know how you approach it and what you do, and hopefully we can maybe hold each other accountable a little bit to these goals. So feel free to check in with me any time in the year to see if I'm actually concentrating on those things, that I'm being brave, that I'm being proactive about where we go and visit, and that I'm still saying no to things. But have a great year, Happy New Year, and I'll see you soon.